So now we want to go for SAP SD training, sales and distribution module. So we will be working on these areas in sales and distribution actually. Enterprise structures, definition and assignment of organizational elements, this account groups, this is one area, customer master record. So this is about organizational structures, where you will be studying sales organizations, plans, company codes. This one is about customer masters. Then we will be working on customer masters, then material masters. Material master records, customer material info records. Then condition record, this is a pricing record actually, condition record means. Right. Then we go for sales documents like inquiry creation, quotation creation, and the sales documents. There's an inquiry, preliminary inquiry when you get a business inquiry from the customer. This is an inquiry. Right. So this is one inquiry, then you will send a quotation to the customer. Right. Then we will be getting a purchase order. Then that purchase order will become a sales order in SAP, sales order, the purchase order. Then we start creating delivery process. Delivery process means sending the materials to the customers, preparation of delivery, and post goods issue. This is post goods issue, sending the material to the customer physically. Then invoice creation, this is billing process. Invoice creation means, okay, this cycle, this is a typical SD cycle we'll see along with the sales documents actually, sales documents. Then we will see here this typical sales cycle, inquiry, quotation, sales order. Then we will see the delivery documents. Here we see the sales documents, then we'll see the delivery documents and delivery documents configuration and overview of outbound deliveries. From the sales department we'll see outbound deliveries. Right. If we say delivery means it's an outbound delivery by default from the sales department. Then route determination. Route is a route actually. It's physically a route actually. When you want to drive, when you want to travel from one place to another place, you will first determine a route actually, a path through which you want to travel actually, shortest distance or something like that. And shipping point determination. Shipping point is a physical location actually from where the materials will be shipped to the customers. Shipping point. Right. Materials will be shipped to the customers, or from MM module, the materials which are coming from outside also they will be received from customers. Shipping point determination. And you have picking and packing functions. And this is part of delivery process. Picking and packing. The picking is integrated with warehouse management picking. And packing means physically you will pack the materials when it is required. Packing with some packing materials. And then billing documents we'll see. Billing, how to create an invoice and what are all the different kinds of invoices are there. And invoice cancellation. Suppose in the case if you feel that the invoice has to be changed or it has to be cancelled, then how you cancel this? Invoice cancellation. And the most important for SD consultants is pricing area, pricing. How to price the materials actually. We are selling different materials under different conditions. So how the pricing will work in SAP SD. That it's a very big topic actually, the pricing. There is a technique called condition technique configuration in pricing which will control the pricing function in SD module actually. So we will study very deeply this condition technique configuration, condition technique in pricing actually, condition technique configuration also we can say. Pricing procedures configuration, condition types, access sequence, tables, records, pricing scales, condition exclusion. This entirely this is pricing. This will come. Right. And the next thing we'll see is special sales orders like rush orders, cash sales orders. Cash sales means this is very similar to a supermarket sale actually. When you go to a supermarket, you will buy some materials. That is a cash sales process actually. The rush order This is also, of course, this is purely SAP. When we create a rush order, then we can discuss more clearly this rush order. What is rush order? And this part is contracts. We have contracts in many business organizations with customers. We have contracts with customers, and purchase department people, they will have contracts with vendors also. That is from EMM side, materials management side. But we focus on sales and distribution.
Okay.
And these some miscellaneous functions like free goods determination, material determination. This we will study. Free goods means when you buy something, then something you are getting free. That is free goods actually. And material determination is swapping one material with another material. That is called material determination in the SD module actually. Swapping, and due to some various reasons that we'll study when we work on this topic, material determination. And revenue account determination, this is actually SDFI integration, nothing but this is purely SDFI integration. This topic is nothing but SDFI integration. And availability check and transfer of requirements. The system checks for the availability of the materials when you run a sales order. Actually, when a customer places a purchase order, then we'll create this sales order actually. The sales order, the system checks for the availability of the material. If we can deliver the material on time, this is availability. If not today the material is available, then when we can deliver the material. The system is integrated with EMM, SD is integrated with EMM and PP and other modules where it will check and it will give the confirmed delivery dates for the material. And this is a text determination, simple topic, then we can discuss at that time. And this output is simple one, it is related to print. You have created an invoice, then you have to print this invoice actually. How to print the invoice, or a printed or delivery document, or a sales order document. Different kinds of outputs. It can be sent to a printer, or it can be sent to a fax, or it can be sent to an email, like that, email. And this is a credit management. The meaning is there in the credit itself, credit management, maintaining and managing customer credit history. This one. And BOM, this is bill of materials. Bill of material. Okay, this will be there, common for SD, MM, and even PP areas also. This will be covered. We'll discuss later. This is a third-party business actually. Third-party order process or business process. This is. We have a process like when we don't have a material. Let us say, basically we are manufacturers. Let us assume. If some material is not available, then we can get the material from external source, external vendor. And we can supply the material from vendor to the customer directly. That is third party business, that is. And we focus, we check this LIS. LIS means Logistics Information Systems. Logistics. It's a completely reporting tool actually. Reporting this is. SD reports will be there in this actually. Customer specific, material specific, or sales orders, deliveries, invoices, whatever we are generating, that will be stored in LIS actually. And we see the tables required for SD module and system landscape, how the system or servers are configured in the real systems, projects that will check in the system landscape. Yeah, that's it. If any other things are there, we can work on it.
Okay.
So, and the one thing, the important, just I will show you one cycle, SD cycle, if you are new to your system. Yeah, this is what you are going to be studying in the sales and distribution. In a typical sales flow, how a sales flow is there from the angle of SAP sales and distribution. There are some sales activities are there before inquiring, and a customer inquires maybe by calling through a phone or sending a message, mail, or something, different ways of inquiring for the products we are selling basically. Right? In any business organization, the customers will inquire about the products or services we are selling or manufacturing. So we will get an inquiry initially from the customer. Then we will create a quotation and send it to the customer for the inquired products or services. This one inquiry, first we will get an inquiry from customer. Then we create a quotation actually from our side. Quotation. Then let us assume customer has placed a purchase order. Customer places a purchase order. That purchase order will become sales order in SD module. This is sales order. So after sales order, then we create a delivery. Then for the delivered goods, then we'll be creating an invoice for the delivered goods. Okay, invoice. So this is a normal sales flow, and invoice. So you have, broadly speaking, sales part. This is sales part. Order management. This is completely order management. Delivery free of charge, subsequent delivery free of charge, or sometimes customer might be returning the materials sometimes due to some quality, some other issues. This is order management. This is shipping management, this part. So billing management, 3 parts, sub areas of SD module. This is 3 sub areas. After the invoice creation, this will be sent into the financial accounting. So the SD role will be till invoice creation and sending it to the finance department. So at the stage of sales order management and shipping, it is very closely integrated with the materials management and production planning also. Planning module also. This part is integrated with materials management and production planning also. Just briefly overview. The SAP broadly we can classify into 3 parts broadly. So this is a functional part where we are lying. Our area SD will come into functional part. And the next is administration part. SAP administration. This is basis means what SAP basis consultants will do means they will manage the servers, SAP servers, and they will manage the authorizations, IDs, passwords, authorizations towards the SAP transaction codes. SAP will use transaction codes for every business process. If you want to create an invoice, there is a transaction code. So that transaction code will be authorized to only the concerned people. So that authorization will be managed by SAP basis people, actually basis team. This is basis team. And the third one is a technical part. This is the programming part of SAP, this one. Okay. The programming, SAP uses ABAP 4 language for writing programs. The ABAP 4 is based on C and C++ languages. We are not going to work on this ABAP or basis, but our focus will be this functional area. The functional. Let us go to the functional. So this circle represents SAP functional area, actually, this circle. So here you are seeing SAP logistics, SAP human resources, SAP financials. In this functional area, you have logistics, human resources, financials. So our SD will fall into this category, logistics. So we are working at a very micro level in SAP. SAP is a very huge area where we are focusing at a small level, that is within SAP logistics. In SAP logistics, you have modules like SD, MM, PP, and QM, WM. All these modules will be there for logistics. Human resources is HR module, human resources, and financials is FI module only. So this is SAP functional part. Apart from this, the surrounding areas are IS solutions. IS means industry solutions. oil and gas, SAP oil and gas, SAP engineering and construction, utilities module, healthcare module is there, media module is there, a retail module is there, banking. These are all IS solutions. The overview of SAP IS solutions. So what I said, I'm going to focus on this logistics, for example.
Okay.
And this logistics, if you go inside logistics, yeah. So these green things are, they are becoming part of logistics area. SD, MM, PP, SM, service management, QM, quality management, PM means plant maintenance. The green area is a logistics part, and this is a HR part is there, and this is a FI area is there. Red one is FI area, like that. So SD is part of logistics. SD is part of logistics, and I'll show you the system, how to log into the system.
Okay.
So have you logged any time to the SAP system?
I was trying to even just download it today, so no.
Okay, okay, fine. Yeah, it's the first. Now, because why I'm asking is, there will be many consultants who are already working in SAP. Actually, they will come for training. Actually, let us assume some finance consultant is there. He will be interested in SD training. So he knows most of the things. That's why I asked you if you have worked, you know how to log into the SAP. Okay, fine.
I used to.
Yeah, it's okay. Fine. So I'll just show you how to log in. Just click on this SAP. You will be given user ID password. Log in. You will be given a user ID later on. I am taking my user ID. Password, give the password. The client default 800 will be there. Client, the SAP environment, that is. And the language default, it will take English.
Yeah.
Just execute. So you will see this screen first time, easy access. This is end user screen. This is called end user screen.
Right.
The business managers, the users will be working on this screen, easy access screen. There is one more screen called consultants screen, that is, or implementation guide. So use transaction code SPRO. Just enter. So you will see the screen. Click on SAP reference IMG. So this is an implementation guide, this one. So when we want to implement SAP, we implement through this screen, IMG screen. This is for consultants actually.
Okay.
You will see all the modules, like this is SD, this is MM, quality management, plant maintenance, customer service, production, PS module, personal management, HR module, FI module. Okay, you will see all this, and you should get familiarity with the screen first. This is a toolbar. This is this one, address toolbar for entering transaction codes. And this one, and this is used for creating another session. You can work on 6 sessions at a time. Just click on this. It will take you to the another session. This one. If you, let us say, you open some transaction code, VTFL. The SAP uses transaction codes for every business process. Right? You directly from the transaction code you can enter VTFL. Some transaction, just execute. Just I am giving overview. I am not going to the subject today. This is taking a long time. This transaction itself, it will take a lot of resources, I think so. See on the screen. The advantage is that we can work on 6 business scenarios. 6 sessions means here some copying activities there. For example, if you go to another screen, yeah, it is open. So let us say this is one business scenario, and you can go to some other scenario. This is another scenario. At the same time, go to the third one. Right. So you can see several activities at a time. This is one easy access end user screen. This is a header overview of that some copy control. This is another session. You can have another 3 sessions like this. So you can work on 6 business scenarios like this maximum. Click maximum number of sessions reached. What are the maximum number of sessions? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 means we can work on 6 business scenarios at a time. One scenario, let us say here one scenario is running, let us say some copying activity. Here you can create some delivery process. Here some warehouse issue you can work. Here you can work on some MM issue, materials management, procurement. So you can work on different scenarios at a time. So that's an advantage. So you can go through like this when you want to go inside. Yeah, you can navigate like this. Navigate and you can check quotation creation. So suppose if you want to create a quotation, this is a transaction code VA21. VA21 is a transaction code. If you click here, it will take you to the quotation creation screen like this. Right. This is VA21 transaction here. If you know the path, you can go like this. If you know this path, how to navigate through the chain. Suppose if you don't remember, if you remember the transaction code directly, VA21, directly you can enter here VA21 directly and just execute. It will take you to the same scenario. Create. And if you want to create a sales order, directly go through this VA01. Either you double click here or directly enter VA01. This is very simpler, VA01. So SAP uses transaction codes for every business scenario. So either you can remember these transaction codes or you can go through this path. Always it may not be possible to navigate like this. Sometimes we may forget. Why? Certain transaction codes we need to remember. This one, VL01N. Delivery creation screen. This will take us. Okay, and okay, we have several sessions open. Okay, then you can just this is for transaction codes. This is for exit. Shortcut. Okay, not required. First page, not space. Okay. This is IMG screen. SPRO transaction code will take you to the IMG screen. And the first topic will be, I will just explain. Let's close this. This is enterprise structure. Yeah, when we want to implement SAP sales and distribution, we start with this first topic, organizational structures, enterprise structures. How we want to run the business in SAP. We will be looking at the organization from different angles, from the financial accounting, from the sales and distribution side, and materials management side. We have a sales department. Normally we have a sales department in every organization, and there's a finance department is there, accounting department, and we have a procurement department, purchase department, These are the basic things actually: accounting department, sales department, purchase department, FI, SD, and MM. You work in any organization, you will see these activities. Of course, sometimes this MM may not be there, purchase may not be there sometimes. This is definitely these modules will be there, FI and SD, even in government departments also, government organizations. Where they go for SAP, they have to implement this FI and SD compulsory. So we start creating organizational structures in FI, and then organizational structure in sales and distribution, materials management. These three are automatically integrated SD, FI, and MM. We can link the organizational structures in SD with those in financial accounting and materials management. We can use several organizational structures to represent the legal and organizational structure of our company. We can structure from the point of view of FI, SD, and MM. And we can combine these FI, SD, and MM to get an integrated structure. So how an organizational structure looks from the FI angle, finance. So let us see. In SAP, we have to represent a company or a group company in this format: a client and company code. Client, for example, you have a group like I will come back. You have a company called Intel Corporation. Intel Corporation. In Intel Corporation, you have Intel, Canada, Intel, Germany, France, let us say Intel Corporation is there. Intel Corporation is a group company. It's a group of company, and within Intel Corporation you have Intel Canada is there, Intel Germany is there, Intel France, Intel Spain. We want to implement SAP in Intel Corporation. Let us assume that we want to implement SAP in Intel Corporation. Then how we will start? We call this Intel Corporation as a client. Client. SAP terminology. From SAP angle, Intel Corporation will become a client. The client is, and these independent companies are becoming company codes. Company codes 1000, 2000, 3000. I can represent with some alphanumeric key. This can be some 10,000. This is one company code. This is one company code. This is one company code. Can you see the screen clearly now? So when we want to implement SAP, for example, let us assume that there is no SAP. Of course, Intel people are already using SAP, and a lot of ERP softwares they will use. So when we want to implement, then I will define this Intel Corporation as a client in SAP terminology. The client represents a group of companies. Client. Client means from the angle of SAP, it's a group of companies. Whereas this independent companies, Intel Canada is there, Intel Germany is there, Intel France, Intel Spain, Intel another maybe Intel India. So this will become, this is a 5,000. So these are all independent companies now, actually. Intel Canada, Germany, France, Spain, India. So these independent companies are known as company codes. From the SAP, this is a company code is a SAP terminology. Company code is it's an independent company with a separate accounting and profit and loss statements. Because these companies, they act as separate companies, Intel Canada and Intel Germany. Right? Intel India is there. Suppose I am the employee of Intel India. I cannot get, if I want to switch over to Intel Germany, they won't take me because I am not belonging to the Intel Germany actually. I am not within the Intel Germany actually. Legally speaking, they are acting as separate companies, these companies, Intel Germany, Intel India. They will have separate balance sheets. Profit and loss statements, business is performed at company code level legally. Separate balance sheets, separate PL profit and loss statements. So here in this case, this is represented with a client from the SAP terminology, and these companies are represented with company codes with some alphanumeric key. I can use even instead of this, I can say this A1, A1000 also, like this also I can take some alphanumeric key I can use. Can you make out the what is client and what is company code now? I'm just implementing an Intel Corporation and I'm calling this Intel Corporation as client from the SAP terminology. SAP terminology, the Intel Corporation will become a client and Intel Canada will become a company code. Intel Germany is another company code. France is another company code like this. Can you make out the difference between client and company code now? Okay, and similarly, you have, if you check here, this one, this diagram also, a client is there and company codes are there. A client means Tata Group is a client here. It's a group company and it has got independent companies. Tata Chemicals is one company, Tata Tea is one more company, Tata Motors is one more company. This group can be represented using client and company codes in SAP. A group can be represented in the system using the terms client and company code. Client represents a group of companies. Company code represents a company in the form of angle of an independent accounting unit, company code. Company codes are independent from each other in the legal sense. Company codes are independent each other in the legal sense. Did you get this concept? The next thing will be we have to design this one, or we can take some example of this. Let us assume that we are going to implement SAP in this group, and then we have to create this group Intel Corporation and Intel Germany or Intel Canada or Intel France, and the projects in the SAP projects they will implement at company code level. SAP implementation will take place at, for example, Intel Canada they will implement first. Let us assume. At a time we cannot implement into Intel Germany because the country specific lot of differences will be there in every country. Germany will have some different kind of sales and distribution methods, and Canada may have some different kinds of taxing. Let us say there may be a special tax, or in Spain there may be some special tax which is applicable which is not there in US or in India. If you go to India, there is some excise invoice will be there in India, whereas in Germany there it cannot be there, excise invoice. There will be some deviations. So that is why SAP companies, they will implement at company code level. Sometimes we call them as rollouts also, rollout, SAP rollout implementation.